Unquiet You. Today we're going to talk about being half in and half out and why nothing is working for you. So this is a topic I deal with a lot, and this is a lot in my personal life too with different people, but a lot of times people will say, I'm doing X and I'm not getting the result, or we can take working out and eating better, right? Like I eat better on Monday through Friday, but I don't feel better. And it always comes back to where's your commitment level? Because most of the time we have one foot in and one foot out. We want to say that we're fully committed, but we're actually not. We keep one foot out because it's a safety net for us. It's what we know. It might not be what we want, but it's what we've known, and there's a comfort level there. So if you want to eat healthy and you're eating good from, Monday to Friday, and then all of a sudden Friday night to Sunday, you eat like crap and you eat a lot of sugar and all the things, and you wonder why on Sunday night you feel bad, it's because our brains, we have only half committed. We've only said we're going to do this part of the time. We're not going to fully commit to full time. And we already know what it feels like to feel like crap. We know what it feels like to enjoy sugar, or maybe it's a glass of wine or a bad meal or whatever. There's that instant gratification that our brains think we need. We desire it because we go back to it. And then we wonder why we don't have the results. It's kind of like I'd hired someone, I think it was last year, to do some food stuff for me because I knew like my eating was out of control. And so we did it, and I did solid. I did everything this man told me for 6 weeks, and my results were unreal. I had zero inflammation. I had lost like 9 pounds. I felt great. My workouts were really, really good. And then I started slipping in like the bad food once a week, and then it was twice a week, and then it was like a little thing every day. And I didn't fully go back to where I was, but I stopped making progress. And he would ask me, he's like, well, what changed? And I'm like, oh, nothing. Or I would say something like, oh, you know what? I ended up eating out this week one night instead of eating at home. So maybe it was that. But what it actually was is I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I wanted the results, and I wanted to feel great, and I wanted all the things. But there was still a part of me that loved the comfort of what I had known, and the comfort of eating a donut or going out to eat. And that was very comfortable for me, even though it did not bring me the results I desired. I kept doing it because I was not fully committed. And when we think about things that we really, really want, or that we're trying to change in our life, it is very hard in the beginning for us to go with both feet in. And when we choose to only go with 1 foot in, we're giving ourselves an out. We're saying like, we're going to try this, but we're not fully committing yet. And this is where I've made a lot of posts, and I talk about this a lot. I have certain words that I go over with clients that we don't use anymore. And one of them is try. And I always say, I believe in the Nike, the just do it slogan so much, because it sounds so simple, but that's actually just what it is. It's just doing it. It's not trying it. Their slogan isn't just try it. And I know that I think they're changing their slogan or something about, I don't know, but I like the just do it, because when we try something, we have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And what happens is, if we try it and it starts to get uncomfortable, or there's a little bit of failure there, we go back. Or in a relationship, I see this a lot where people will say, I'm showing up for this person, or I'm trying to do more, or I'm trying to communicate better and all the things. But when we dig into it, they have 1 foot out. They're not fully committed to this relationship. And it's usually out of fear, right? It's out of a fear of, what if this doesn't work out? Or what if they decide tomorrow they don't want to be with me? Or what if what I'm telling them, being vulnerable, isn't what they want to hear? So we keep a little bit of ourselves like pushed back on the other side. We keep 1 foot out, because if we commit and fully go in, that means we're all in. And I always say if you notice that you have one foot in and one foot out, there's nothing has gone wrong, but that's where the work needs to be done of what is it? What am I scared of? What's the fear coming up as if I went all in? What happens if I jump with both feet instead of just one? What happens if I don't leave the door cracked for me to go back? What would happen if I fully committed? And that's where you get really real and really honest with yourself of the fears that come up. And I think it's very normal to have fears in a relationship. I think it's okay to have a fear of, what if I do go all in and then they decide they don't want to be with me? Or I don't want to show them, I don't want to be completely vulnerable, right? But what's fascinating is the more we say that, the more frustrated we become because they're doing the same thing to us. Maybe they're not going fully in on us, or maybe they're not being completely vulnerable or opening up to us. And there's usually I feel like there's a very energetic feel. I can feel when someone's not fully committed to something with me, and I will address that because if I can feel your energy, then why would I go fully in with you? If you're not going fully in, then it's really hard for me to want to go fully in. Now, I don't believe in matching energy. I don't believe in if someone treats you bad, you treat them bad back. I don't believe if someone's only showing up halfway, you only show up halfway. But I think it's human nature to feel an energetic feel from someone else who's not fully committed. And it's the same thing if you hire a personal trainer at some point, or a coach, if you're into sports, or a mentor, or a life coach, or a business, anything that you hire, they're going to be fully committed. But when you stop showing up or you're not fully committed, there becomes a point where they say, it's not really worth working with me. It's not worth, you're not showing up 100%. So me showing up 100% still isn't going to cut it because, and I say this a lot with clients too, when they first come to me, that, when I'm on consults, I talk about this of a commitment level, because my promise is I will show up 100% every single call. But if you're not going to show up 100% with both feet in, it's going to be really hard to make any, movement forward in this process. Because if you're holding stuff back, then that means that there's a part of you that's not completely vulnerable and ready for change. And so I think when we go into anything new, we want to go in with a little 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But my question always is, what happens when we decide to stop being in the middle, when we stop giving ourselves an out of trying? If you have the thought, I'm going to try this, I would challenge you to change that to I'm going to do this, meaning you may do it and it might fail, and that's okay. All that's saying is do it differently or do it again. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. I'm a big believer, you can't be successful at anything if you don't fail at it first. And the reason I believe that is because it's just like kids walking. Babies don't wake up and start walking one day. They do it and they fall. They can't get up. They just keep going and going and going until they do it. And I know that's something we all hear so many times, but those babies don't think I'm going to put 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If this doesn't work, I'll just stick to crawling the rest of my life. They're determined because they know walking will get them to the kitchen where they can get cookies or whatever it is, right? They have this idea that walking is like what they have to do next. And so they're going to keep doing it until they walk. If we as human, especially as adults, I say this to my children too all the time, but if we had that mentality that we're going to do it until it works, we would go into things completely committed, not 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because the middle area is so gray that it's not going to require the highest and best version of you to show up for yourself every day, because you're already giving yourself an out to go back to the old way of living, to go back to the old habits, and to go back to the old things that were easy and comfortable, but they weren't your desire. So if there's something new you're trying to go after, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job. Maybe it's, something you want to do for health and fitness. Whatever it is, I challenge you to have the thought, what if I do go all in? What if I put both feet in and I'm not half in, half out? What could happen? And I would use that energy to move forward and create your plan. So I hope that we all want to go all in on life, right? Like, I think that I think deep down, we do all want to go in. I think if we can get past the fear of what if it doesn't work out and flip the script to, but what if it does? What could be possible? I think we can all start seeing things from the possibility and not the lack of. So I hope that you go all in on something fun today or this week or something in the near future, and have a great day. Thanks for listening, for being a little louder, a little bolder, and a whole lot more you. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you subscribed, left a review, and sent it to someone you think might need it. As always, stay unquiet.